In 2025, daring leadership is not about the ability to dictate, command, or always have the answers. It's about vulnerability, courage, and creating spaces where others can rise to their fullest potential. Our leadership in this era is not about being the loudest voice in the room, but about being the most courageous and open-hearted one. It's about creating a culture of trust, of belonging, where people feel safe to take risks and fail, because they know failure is just a step toward growth, not a mark of inadequacy. Vulnerability is often perceived as a weakness, something that makes us susceptible to harm, failure, or judgment. In reality, vulnerability is one of the most powerful tools a leader can embrace. It's the willingness to show up as we are, without the masks or facades that we sometimes feel compelled to wear. It's about letting go of the need to always be right, to always have the answers, and to always appear in control. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create an environment where others feel safe to do the same. This openness fosters a deeper connection, stronger relationships, and ultimately a more resilient and innovative team. As a leader, embracing vulnerability doesn't mean exposing all of our insecurities or airing our personal struggles. It means being authentic and real, especially when it feels uncomfortable. Vulnerability in leadership isn't about showing weakness, but rather about showing strength and being human. It's about acknowledging that no one has all the answers and that learning, growth, and progress often come from moments of discomfort and uncertainty. When we let go of the need for perfection, we open the door to creativity, collaboration, and connection in ways that wouldn't be possible otherwise. It takes immense courage to lead with vulnerability. There's a misconception that leaders must always appear strong, confident, and unflappable. The pressure to maintain this image can create a barrier between leaders and their teams. Leaders who hide their vulnerabilities in an attempt to appear flawless risk, creating a culture of fear and disconnection. When people sense that their leader is not willing to be real, they may be less likely to express their own thoughts, ideas, and concerns. This lack of openness stifles innovation, fosters a climate of distrust, and ultimately limits the potential of the organization. But when a leader dares to be vulnerable, they break down these walls and invite others to step into their own authenticity. The act of showing vulnerability requires emotional strength. It's not about exposing every weakness or every doubt, but about acknowledging our humanity. Leaders who embrace vulnerability are not afraid to admit when they don't know something, when they've made a mistake, or when they need help. They understand that these moments are not signs of failure, but opportunities for growth and learning. In fact, admitting mistakes and seeking feedback are some of the most powerful actions a leader can take. It shows that they are committed to personal development and that they value the perspectives of others. It also sends the message that it's okay to fail as long as we learn from it and move forward. Vulnerability also builds trust. Trust is the foundation of any successful team or organization, and it cannot be cultivated without vulnerability. When leaders are open about their own challenges, insecurities, or uncertainties, they show their team that they are human, just like everyone else. This authenticity makes leaders more approachable, more relatable, and more trustworthy. When people see that their leader is willing to be vulnerable, they feel safer in their own vulnerability. Trust is a two-way street. Leaders must be willing to take the first step in building that trust by modeling vulnerability themselves. Leading with vulnerability is also a powerful way to inspire others. When we embrace our own vulnerability, we empower those around us to do the same. We show them that they don't need to have it all figured out, that it's okay to not be perfect, and that true growth comes from embracing challenges head-on, even when the outcome is uncertain. Leaders who are vulnerable can connect with their teams on a deeper level, offering support and encouragement during times of struggle or uncertainty. Vulnerability creates a space for empathy, understanding, and connection, which is essential for building strong, cohesive teams. Furthermore, vulnerability helps us be more adaptable and resilient in the face of change. The world is constantly evolving, and leaders must be able to pivot and adjust as circumstances shift. This requires flexibility, openness to new ideas, and the ability to admit when things are not working. Vulnerability enables leaders to accept change and uncertainty, to ask for help, and to learn from others. It allows leaders to show that they don't have all the answers, but that they are willing to learn, grow, and adapt along with their teams. This adaptability is critical in a rapidly changing world where innovation and progress often require leaders to step into the unknown and embrace new ways of thinking. By embracing vulnerability, leaders create a ripple effect that extends throughout their organizations. When leaders lead with vulnerability, they encourage a culture where others feel comfortable being their true selves. This authenticity cultivates an environment of respect, trust, and collaboration, where individuals are free to express their ideas, explore new possibilities, and support one another. Teams that operate in this way are more resilient because they have the emotional strength to face challenges together. They are more innovative because they feel safe to experiment, to fail, and to learn without fear of judgment. And they are more successful because they are united in their commitment to growth, learning, and progress. Vulnerability in leadership also requires a deep level of self-awareness. Leaders must be able to recognize their own limitations, acknowledge their weaknesses, and seek the help and support they need. This self-awareness allows leaders to model humility and emotional intelligence, two critical qualities for effective leadership. When leaders are self-aware, they understand their own triggers, biases, and reactions, which enables them to lead more intentionally and empathetically. Self-awareness also helps leaders navigate difficult situations with grace, as they are able to remain grounded and present, even in the midst of uncertainty. The power of vulnerability in leadership cannot be overstated. By embracing vulnerability, leaders create an environment of trust, openness, and innovation. They inspire their teams to take risks, to learn from failure, and to show up as their authentic selves. Vulnerability fosters connection and empathy, allowing leaders to build stronger, more resilient teams. It is through vulnerability that leaders can truly make a lasting impact by showing others that they don't need to be perfect, that it's okay to be human, and that the greatest strength lies in embracing our imperfections. When leaders lead with vulnerability, they not only unlock their own potential, but the potential of everyone around them. Leading with empathy is one of the most powerful tools a leader can possess. It's the ability to connect with others on a human level, to understand their emotions, perspectives, and experiences, and to respond with compassion and care. In today's fast-paced, high-pressure world, empathy is often seen as a soft skill, something that takes a backseat to metrics, targets, and performance. But in truth, empathy is the cornerstone of effective leadership. Without it, leaders risk losing touch with their teams, their values, and the people they are meant to serve. Empathy in leadership also fosters collaboration. When people feel understood and supported, they are more likely to share their ideas, ask for help, and work together toward common goals. The leaders who show empathy are more attuned to the needs of their team members, which allows them to identify opportunities for growth and development. They are able to offer encouragement and support in ways that empower others to step up and contribute. In an empathetic environment, people are less likely to feel isolated or undervalued. Instead, they feel like integral parts of a larger whole, contributing to something meaningful and important. Another key aspect of empathetic leadership is its role in conflict resolution. In any team or organization, there will inevitably be disagreements, misunderstandings, and clashes of perspective. Without empathy, conflicts can quickly escalate and create division. But when a leader approaches conflict with empathy, they are able to navigate difficult situations with understanding and patience. They listen to both sides, validate emotions, and seek common ground. This approach doesn't just resolve conflicts, it strengthens relationships and creates a culture of respect. People are more likely to trust a leader who listens to them with empathy, even when they disagree, than one who simply imposes solutions from above. Empathetic leadership also plays a critical role in mental health and well-being. As the pressures of modern life continue to grow, people are increasingly dealing with stress, burnout, and emotional exhaustion. Leaders who practice empathy can recognize when someone is struggling, offer support, and connect them to the resources they need. It's important for leaders to understand that the well-being of their team is just as crucial as productivity and performance. When leaders prioritize mental health and show empathy toward those facing challenges, they create a culture of care and support that leads to greater resilience, satisfaction, and long-term success. Moreover, empathy allows leaders to be more effective decision-makers. When leaders understand the needs, challenges, and perspectives of their team, they are better equipped to make decisions that are not only strategic but also compassionate. Empathetic leaders are more likely to consider the human impact of their choices, weighing the emotional and relational consequences, not just the logistical ones. This leads to more thoughtful, sustainable decisions that benefit both the organization and its people. In a world where many leadership styles are centered around authority, power, and control, empathetic leadership stands out as a transformative force. It's a style that focuses on connection, understanding, and shared humanity. Empathy enables leaders to inspire trust, foster collaboration, and create an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute their best. It turns leadership from a position of command into a practice of service, serving the people you lead with kindness, respect, and understanding. And in doing so, it creates an atmosphere where everyone can thrive. Leadership is not about maintaining a facade of perfection or striving to always be right. Instead, it's about embracing the power of vulnerability, recognizing that mistakes, missteps, and moments of doubt are not weaknesses, but essential parts of the learning process. In fact, failure and vulnerability are often the seeds from which true growth and innovation are born. When leaders allow themselves to be vulnerable, they create a culture where others feel safe to do the same. They make it acceptable to take risks, to experiment, and to step outside the comfort zone. This, in turn, fosters an environment where growth, creativity, and collaboration can flourish. One of the primary benefits of leading with vulnerability is the trust it builds between a leader and their team. Trust is the bedrock of any successful organization, and vulnerability is a key ingredient in its formation. When leaders are willing to acknowledge their mistakes, admit when they don't have all the answers, and ask for help when needed, they demonstrate that they are human just like the people they lead. This humanization of leadership dismantles the barriers that often exist between leaders and their teams. It helps create an environment where open communication is the norm, where team members feel comfortable sharing their ideas, opinions, and concerns without fear of judgment or retribution. Leaders who lead with vulnerability also encourage a culture of psychological safety. Psychological safety is the belief that one will not be penalized or humiliated for making a mistake, asking a question, or offering an idea. When leaders show vulnerability, they signal that it's okay to be imperfect, to stumble, and to learn from those stumbles. This creates a space where people feel empowered to speak up, share their thoughts, and take the initiative. When people feel safe to contribute, they bring their most authentic selves to the table. They are more likely to take ownership of their work, express innovative ideas, and engage with their team in meaningful ways. In contrast, when leaders are unwilling to show vulnerability and instead cultivate an atmosphere of perfectionism, the result is often fear and stagnation. People become afraid to speak up because they fear being judged or criticized. They may hide their mistakes, suppress their ideas, or fail to ask for help, all of which stifle growth and creativity. A culture like this limits the potential of individuals and teams because it prevents people from fully engaging and contributing. In the long run, this fear-based approach to leadership undermines both morale and productivity. Vulnerability, on the other hand, nurtures growth and enables organizations to thrive. Another critical aspect of vulnerability in leadership is its role in fostering collaboration. When leaders are vulnerable, they demonstrate that no one person has all the answers. This opens the door for others to contribute their ideas and perspectives. Instead of having a hierarchical structure where the leader holds all the power and authority, vulnerable leadership creates an environment of shared leadership and collective problem solving. Team members feel more inclined to share their unique insights and expertise, knowing that their contributions are valued and that they are encouraged to think creatively. This sense of collaboration is particularly important in today's rapidly changing world. The challenges and complexities that organizations face today cannot be solved by one individual alone. They require a collective effort where diverse perspectives and ideas are brought together to create innovative solutions. Vulnerable leaders understand the importance of creating an inclusive environment where everyone's voice is heard. They know that the best solutions come from collaboration, not from top-down decision-making. When vulnerability is embraced, leaders empower their teams to be co-creators of the vision and direction of the organization. Leading with vulnerability also has a profound impact on personal growth, both for the leader and their team. When leaders are open about their mistakes and shortcomings, they demonstrate a willingness to learn and grow. This model of lifelong learning encourages others to do the same. It shifts the focus away from perfection and toward progress. People are inspired to take risks, try new things, and push themselves beyond their comfort zones because they see their leader doing the same. Vulnerability creates a growth mindset, where failures are viewed as opportunities for development rather than as signs of failure. In turn, this mindset drives continuous improvement, both individually and as a team. Additionally, vulnerability fosters deeper, more authentic connections between people. When a leader opens up about their challenges, their fears, or their moments of uncertainty, they create a space for others to do the same. These shared experiences build camaraderie and trust. When people connect on a deeper, more personal level, they are more likely to support one another, collaborate effectively, and work toward common goals with passion and commitment. Vulnerability creates bonds that go beyond the surface, forming a community where people genuinely care for one another and are invested in each other's success. In a world that often values strength, confidence, and certainty, vulnerability may seem counterintuitive. However, vulnerability is, in fact, a form of strength. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to show up authentically, and to admit that we don't have all the answers. But it is through vulnerability that we connect, innovate, and grow. Leaders who embrace vulnerability model courage and authenticity for their teams. They show that it's okay to not have it all figured out, and that success is not about being perfect, but about being willing to learn, adapt, and grow along the way. Moreover, vulnerability in leadership creates a ripple effect that extends throughout an organization. When leaders are vulnerable, they set the tone for others to follow. It encourages a culture of openness, honesty, and mutual respect. This culture allows individuals to thrive, not just as employees, but as human beings. They are empowered to bring their full selves to work, to express their ideas, and to contribute to the team's success in meaningful ways. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a gateway to true strength, collaboration, and innovation. In the end, leaders who embrace vulnerability are not just better leaders, they are better humans. They create environments where people feel safe, valued, and empowered to be their authentic selves. They foster creativity, collaboration, and growth. And by leading with vulnerability, they inspire others to step into their own courage, take risks, and reach their fullest potential. Through vulnerability, leaders create spaces where individuals and organizations can truly thrive. It is in this space of authenticity and openness that the greatest potential for growth, both personally and professionally, is unlocked. The ability to inspire courage in others is one of the most powerful aspects of leadership. True leadership doesn't come from giving orders or exerting control, but from empowering those around us to step into their own courage, face challenges head-on, and rise to their fullest potential. A courageous leader recognizes that their role is not to hold everyone's hand or eliminate every obstacle, but to create an environment where others feel supported enough to take risks, embrace uncertainty, and push beyond their limits. Inspiring courage begins with leading by example. Leaders who show courage themselves, whether in making tough decisions, confronting difficult conversations, or embracing new opportunities, set a powerful precedent for their teams. When leaders model bravery, they show others that it's okay to be afraid, but that the key is to act despite that fear. By demonstrating their own courage, leaders invite their teams to believe in themselves, take ownership of their actions, and tackle challenges with the same boldness. Courage is contagious, and when a leader consistently embodies it, they inspire others to follow suit. However, inspiring courage also involves creating a supportive environment that allows others to take risks without fear of failure. Many people hold back from taking bold steps because they fear judgment or negative consequences. Leaders who foster a culture of psychological safety where mistakes are viewed as opportunities for growth, rather than as failures, encourage their team members to act courageously. In such an environment, people know that it's okay to try new things, to stumble, and to learn from their experiences. Leaders who recognize that failure is an inevitable part of growth and who support their teams through setbacks allow courage to thrive. When people feel safe in their vulnerability and know that their efforts will be met with understanding and support, they are more likely to step out of their comfort zones and take the risks that lead to innovation and success. Inspiring courage also involves showing people that they have the capacity to overcome obstacles. It's easy for individuals to feel overwhelmed by challenges, especially when they seem insurmountable. A courageous leader, however, helps others see their own strength. They encourage their teams to break down large, intimidating tasks into manageable steps, offering reassurance and support along the way. By focusing on incremental progress, leaders help their team members build confidence in their abilities, which in turn fuels their courage to continue moving forward, even in the face of adversity. Moreover, leaders who inspire courage cultivate a mindset of possibility. They help others see that anything is possible if they're willing to put in the effort, take the necessary risks, and push through difficult times. Such leaders shift the focus from limitations to potential. They encourage their teams to look for solutions rather than dwell on problems, to find opportunity in adversity, and to embrace change rather than fear it. When leaders create this mindset, they ignite a sense of possibility in their teams, and individuals begin to view challenges not as roadblocks, but as chances for growth and development. A crucial aspect of inspiring courage is recognizing and celebrating bravery when it is demonstrated. Acknowledging the courage of others, whether in taking on a new project, speaking up in a meeting, or tackling a difficult problem, reinforces the value of courage within the organization. When people see that courageous actions are celebrated, they feel more motivated to act bravely in the future. By creating a culture that recognizes and rewards boldness, leaders encourage a continuous cycle of courage within their teams. Ultimately, inspiring courage is about empowering others to believe in themselves and their abilities. It's about creating an environment where people feel encouraged to take risks, make mistakes, and grow through their experiences. Leaders who inspire courage don't simply lead by directive, they lead by creating the conditions in which others can flourish. By modeling courage, fostering a safe environment for failure, helping others see their strength, and encouraging a mindset of possibility, leaders enable their teams to rise to challenges with confidence and bravery. This courage, once ignited, becomes a powerful force for individual and collective growth.